Hello, guys. So today we are going to channel a positive reptilian from the Federation. So this is something that some people were interested in a while ago, a few months ago. So we're finally going to do this. In order to make sure that we are safe, I'm going to first contact the Aleha, who are part of the Galactic Federation, as a mediator to connect me with a positive reptilian. So I think that that's always the way to go, is to contact somebody that you trust before connecting with somebody that you don't know yet, right? So that's what I will be doing. And of course I will begin with shielding too, which I already shielded before this video, and I will shield again with my higher self, just to make sure that I am safe. And not to say that I am a racist with the reptilians, but it's always good to just be careful with actually any new source that you are connecting with, because there are some trickster, false light entities out there. So we'll begin. Do you have anything before we start?
No.
Just checking. Okay. All right. So we'll just get down to it, and I'll bring first off, I'll bring the Aleha in, which they may say something to you guys, or it may just be a telepathic, just for me while they connect really quickly. I'm not sure. So we'll just see what happens. Okay. Okay. So they are connecting us to a pod ship. And in the pod ship, there is a fifth dimensional reptilian, and his name is Ganeko. So we're going to speak with Ganeko. Okay. Yes, my name is Ganeko. I am a fifth dimensional being from a mutation, sort of like I am a hybrid being. I have two different DNA in my nature. You would consider this a sort of like a splitting of the DNA. Okay. this is an interesting like connection. So it's like I don't know, it's a little bit more challenging. Okay, so I was like, really, it's like I'm like kind of more struggling to get the information. It's interesting. Okay, so there's a mother energy and a father energy. Okay, okay. So Kaneko is actually more feminine than masculine, but has a duality. Okay, excuse me, I said him without even like just rushing to it's a male. Okay, which yeah, all right. I, okay, I'm getting something about the planet that they came from. New neutropenia or something like that. I really dislike having names because I'm like I always feel uncomfortable giving names such as planet names. But they're giving me a name. Uh Neutropenia or something like that. Okay, they're more like a frog. Okay. They're more like a frog DNA. Okay. They'd rather be referred to as a frog than a reptilian. They have not defined themselves as a reptilian because reptilians have a bad rep. Okay, there are many different reptile energies throughout the galaxy, and it is not always the same. There are different stories about each one, but many people will generalize and say that they are all the same. We do not define ourselves by these limitations, and we do not hold it against people, but we do not want to be defined in such a derogatory sense. Okay. All right. They're saying why this energy feels so off or different is because they are using their mind rather than their heart. And that is the difference between different races, is that they are more of a intellectual being rather than a heart-based or other chakras, like using their chakras. It is a more of a physical nature than a spiritual nature. Although they are a Galactic Federation being, and so they're recognizing how this is interesting and different. So this is why the connection seems very neutral, is what they want to say. Neutral. So there isn't, so a lot of times I will feel like light and love. I feel very, very neutral. This is very true. And so they are a positive being in which they do align with the energy of light, but they do not form the certain representation that others would of being light. in that way. So, okay, so they can harness love, but not in the same way that the other beings do. Okay. They don't hold the light that the others do. Very interesting. Okay, they can't manipulate it in the same way. So they don't have that ability to be able to store it like other. I'm getting natural beings. That's interesting. The phrasing, right? Natural beings.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. Okay. I'm getting something about like DNA manipulation, and that's what is referred to as natural. So natural isn't tampered with. And there was a like a is that what they meant by splitting? Okay, they like split the DNA to form a different race that wasn't originally like created through the like prime creator. It wasn't like a natural race, it was a hybrid race. Does that make sense, Adriana?
Yes.
Okay.
I did want to ask though, but I didn't want to interrupt the stuff about with being a frog, because here, at least on in Earth terms, we categorize frogs as the amphibians. So I was wondering if maybe they were talking about having like reptilian and amphibian like DNA split together.
Interesting. Oh, okay. So what I'm getting, and this is interesting because it's not always like it's kind of like clear claircognizant, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like I just kind of know the answer. Okay, so the information I got was that they are of God, so source, right? Which everything is.
Mm-hmm.
But since they were part of a science endeavor, right?
Mm-hmm.
As we were too. um they are still recovering. This is the way it was put, recovering from that. And so that is why they cannot hold the love light that the other species can. They're more natural. I didn't get an answer about your, but let me check in about. Okay. They're agreeing that it is amphibian, but most would define it as reptilian.
Okay.
So it's more of people define it that way.
Mm-hmm. Because it's not exactly the same as like our reptiles on Earth, so it's being put in that same category, which makes sense. That's why I just wondered what if it was part of that, or if that had to do with the splitting.
Yeah. I'm checking in more about if there's anything else about that. Okay. They do want to clarify that they are female. They do want to I say they. I got something about female and male, but they just want to clarify they do have a duality, but they use pronouns of she. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Ganeko? Is it Ganeko?
Ganeko.
Ganeko.
At least I hope that's what it was.
I think it is. Okay, they're just I'm Ganeko, yes. Okay. 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 She is saying that there is a balance of some amphibian and some DNA from the reptilians, but they are more amphibian. But most would even call that a reptilian because of the sort of agenda, okay, that people hold against them. They put them all in one category. Which is not
where it's like an umbrella. It's like an umbrella term, and then
which is not accurate.
Okay.
Yeah. She's saying there's not a category of that. There shouldn't be a category. Okay, she's saying even the Galactic Federation will use that category, which makes her kind of upset. which is a kind of yeah, I can understand that. How that would be frustrating. Yeah, people don't need to put labels, she's saying. We need to see each other as we are without a preconceived notion. Okay. I was asking, is that why they connected me with a frog, right? Rather than what you would envision. And also a female, right? Because you envision reptilians as male, right? Don't we? Right? So a lot of times, yeah, that's part of it. That's part of the illusion and why we are addressing this. Unraveling the we could call it racism and prejudice, right? Okay, what are questions?
All right. How did you become part of the Galactic Federation?
Okay, she came to them because she wanted to join. There was a big festival. I think she was maybe it's sort of a joke. I don't know. She's like, I saw pamphlets. And then she's clarifying it was more like billboards, like information about it. And so then she decided she wanted to join. That was just her mission, and she knew it then. Okay. She actually wanted to get off planet because there's a lot going on there, and she wanted to actually leave. She says, don't judge me. Okay.
I mean, we want to move, so no, we're not judging you.
No. Oh, and then she says, I'm not a part of all that. Whatever was going on on the planet, she said she's not a part of it. Oh, she said there was some warfare going on the planet. And that wasn't her thing. So she wanted to get off.
So what role or position do you have in the Galactic Federation?
Oh, that's interesting. She says, I spy. Cloaking. She cloaks and goes into the the areas where the battles are. Because she did say something about she wanted to join the big battle than the war on the planet. Oh, be more useful. She wanted to be more useful. And so she joined to be more useful. And so she went to the Galactic Federation to be more useful and to get off the planet. And she's like summarizing. And she wanted to do something different. So now she cloaks herself as in her pod and goes to other Federation starships, but doing that, she goes into the sort of war zones and will define herself as the other side for a while to get certain information to help. That's interesting. Okay. And she says, I find it positive. She thinks it's a good thing what she's doing and that it's helpful.
Is it difficult to leave sometimes after doing that though?
She says no. She says she's not tempted at all to go back.
Oh, but did they make it difficult for you to leave?
Oh, do they? She says sometimes, but she gets away. She says it's not that hard. They're kind of dumb.
I was like envisioning this like giant chase scene.
But it's very interesting. This kind of like humor is not really that humorous. So there is a difference here. I want to check in. Okay, yeah. Her emotions are, the way she puts it, as softer.
Mm-hmm.
So her emotions are not as intense as we would understand them to be. So the humor is milder.
Mm-hmm.
And the energy is not as intense either. It's like
muted.
Yeah. She says, I have emotions, but they're not as intense as others. Okay, she's saying that we are recovering. So they're recovering from the manipulation with the DNA, but it's taking time. So before they didn't have any emotion, and now they are regaining that emotion by understanding themselves more and more as the connective understanding and the unity consciousness, the reality.
What else can you tell us about what makes reptilians unique from other races?
She says, I just told you.
Okay, that's it.
So basically, they don't have the emotional capacity that we do. They're also more intellectual. Okay. They hold more potential in their. Okay. She's saying that there is capacity in her throat chakra. But not a lot in the other chakras. So that's really the only chakra that's like online, I guess. And it's more of like a mind. That's interesting. But she says she doesn't have much to say. Despite that. And she says it's all about what she wants to say. And there's not always a lot to say. Simpler can be better. And she says, that's all.
So then can you tell us, are there positive reptilians here on Earth? And if so, how are they serving us on this planet?
Okay. And she says, actually, there's not as many as we would hope for. And they go under, some are underground. Yeah, not all of them, but some are underground doing different things to help the planet rejuvenate the soil and give it life. Okay. To help the mother energy. So mother energy, I gather Gaia. Yes, Mother Earth.
Mm-hmm.
Helping in that capacity. So those would be more of the Galactic Federation. And there are some on the surface, and some are building new communities and new possibilities here. Okay. There are some that are escaping the agendas. Escaping the mind control. Okay. Some are trying to start the new revolution. Yeah, concerned with a better future. And those would be the ones that we would say are more interacting with us rather than the ones underground.
Okay. So we've heard that people on Earth have reptilian DNA. And tell us more about this and how we can use those traits to serve the collective.
Okay. Interesting. Okay, actually what she is saying is she said, I've already been through this. I use my mind and I am trying to escape my mind. And that we actually want to escape our mind. So using the reptilian traits are not in our benefit.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't want to deny it, but we don't want to embrace it. And we actually want to build upon it. Okay. We want to use our mind. So we want to, okay, she's going about this differently. So she's not saying to deny our mind or to escape our mind, but to join with our mind. We want to embrace the level of understanding that we can use our chakras to open the chakras, to even connect our chakras, but then connect the chakras to the brain so that the brain is through the chakras. And in this sense, we would use the reptilian DNA to our advantage, but not hold it as a discernment for our energy. Okay. Interesting. She says what she said. You do not want to become the reptilian. You want to embrace the reptilian. Do not define yourself as reptilian, but do not deny your reptilian. Become the energy of yourself, and that is the entirety of who and what you are. Love yourself as the brain, but not in the brain. Okay. Notice the thoughts, but don't become the thoughts. Okay. And she is sending me some more like energy to express that she can tap into that somewhat. So she's expressing that too.
Can you tell us more about the Galactic Federation and what they are doing to serve ascension, especially here on Earth?
She's revisiting the going under the earth and helping in that way. And there's some in the solar system. Okay, going around and recharging the stagnation. So okay, rebooting the system. Okay, there's been disruption in the energy, and so they're restoring the planet and the solar system and the operations within it so that it flows. Okay. And I was just asking about that term rebooting, and she said it is like a computer system, and it's almost like reprogramming the data of a computer so that it does what it's supposed to do. It's sort of like there's been a removal of some of the data and they're putting that back in. Okay, because I was like, maybe there's like bugs in the system, and she said no, it's more of putting things back in. And okay, because I'm like, what about clearing it? What about like getting rid of things that don't? But it's more of a putting things back in. Okay, she does say that there are some things that don't belong, but most of it is a recharging, like building new energy. Okay. Just kind of like charging like a battery, sort of. Okay, bringing in more energy. There's been holes in it where it's like energy escapes. Like Swiss cheese. Okay. Energy leakages. Okay, that's basically what she wants to say.
Okay. Is there anything else that you think would be beneficial for us to know at this time?
Okay. She says that she got off her planet, but she goes back to the planet and she has recruited other members. And I'm gathering she's pretty proud of that.
Mhm.
Okay, so she has some friends that she works with too. She says, get her. Okay, but she does say she does a lot of it like on her own because they do other things. Oh, okay. She says she makes her own data and people she says I get a bad rap for that. Um is it rap or rep? It's rap, right? Reputation.
I think you can say either though. I think people say do.
It's a reputation,
Rap,
right? Okay, rep for that. But she's proud of that, doing her own programming. So she does like programs. She says that's a skill. Like she has that as a skill. She says there's a lot of things I could tell you. She says, do you want to know anything else? She's like, do you have any specific questions? Because she's like, I could tell you things, but what do you want to know?
I don't know. Another question that came to me is just, is everyone on your planet frogs?
She says that there are some beetles. Beetle, mantis beans.
Oh, the mantis bee.
Yeah. The fish, birds, some sort of iguana. Buttload of toads. Okay, and then I got like an image of a rock. It's like a rocky kind of planet. But they also have some trees. Okay. She's saying, I was asking her about like, do they interact with like the other races? You know, like do the frogs interact with the like the mantis and the beetle and whatever? And she was explaining that it's more like separate or segregated, you know, like they don't really interact much with each other. Okay. Yeah, they don't really go out and interact with the others unless necessary, which isn't often. Like they hold to themselves. Okay. I was asking him about the war and who were they going to war with? And she said it was between the frogs and the mantis beings. Okay. It was over land. The mantis wanted to take the land for themselves. And she just added, I'll get over that, but it made me mad.
Is this a physical fight?
She says, oh, yes. She says, it was awful. Okay, and I asked, did it end? And she says, it's still going on. Because when she said it was awful, I guess she meant like, because
Being
she's
there.
off planet. No, oh, she says they don't want to give up. The mantis don't want to give up. Okay. I was just asking, I said, well, is your race pretty positive then, like in general? And she said that depends. Because I was like, maybe the mantis, like maybe their race in general is more positive. And she says that depends. So there's like a mix, I guess, of whether you're, on the light side or not, I guess. And she says they're more neutral. Okay. They're more of a neutral race. She says they don't have much to do with the reptilians. They get just kind of like excited with them just because of their DNA. And she says that's another reason why they join the Federation is to spread the word, like to clarify that they're not, the same. Okay, and then she wants to say and clarify too that there's a lot of light in the reptilian race, and it would be beneficial for us to actually connect with an actual reptilian that we would define as a reptilian in the future. She said a Draco. Yeah, she said to clarify that we can talk to a Draco, and that would be the one that we would refer to as a reptilian in the future. Okay. She says, I didn't clarify. And so they want to build upon this whole idea of what a reptilian is. So it's part of our education. Okay. They want to, okay, I guess they, okay, yes, they, the Federation and everybody involved here. It's not the entire Federation, but my team wants me to understand and us to understand more about the agenda and how okay to serve by understanding the true nature of a reptilian and not to get it confused. There's many different races and okay, yeah, they're not all the same. Okay. She says go about this in a different way next time by specifically specifying what we need. But this was beneficial to clarify that what we would call a frog is not necessarily the same reptilian of another race, but they get confused. And all of us could understand that too, for we do lump people together and say that they're all the same. Okay, she's just like, do you want to know anything else?
I don't know. Do you have any other questions on that?
I don't think so. Okay. And she just said she's happy to speak with us. She just says, I'll go about my day now. Okay. I just said, thank you. And she just says, I'll get back to it now. Okay. Hard worker there. All right. Okay. Well, so interesting.
It's funny you say her energy is neutral, but I don't know, she just seemed pretty cute.
Oh. Yeah. 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 Interesting. It's different.
So just statement, not question, that's why I was waiting. Is that I don't remember if we just channeled the one time or two times, like about reptilians before. I don't remember which one this was or who we were channeling. And I don't remember the exact specifics, but I remember when I was trying to get more clarification and we weren't really given it because they were talking about draconians. And I was like, oh, so would we say that this is specifically draconians? And they were all like, well, no, it wouldn't really clarify, but we're basically saying that there were different types of reptilians, but then wouldn't really specify anything. And so it felt really broad still then. And I guess that just makes more sense now because like you wouldn't think frogs would be called reptilians.
Yeah. But I'm gathering mostly frog, but with a little bit of the reptilian DNA.
Okay.
Like a hybrid. So there was some DNA, but mostly the amphibian frog.
Okay. Well, that's kind of what I was asking. And then you didn't say that. But that's fine.
I thought.
It was probably, I don't know. Somewhere we had a miscommunication. I don't know. But anyways, so yeah. So probably most of the time when we think of reptilians, we're thinking draconian. But then when you try to get clarification of, oh, is that what that is? You don't really get it. And I just wonder if maybe that is because of what she's saying, or even like the Galactic Federation will just say reptilians.
Right. Well, I was in a group recently, and there was a man who we did a meditation, and he had some information that was a dragon, like a dragon that was like a reptilian dragon. So I guess dragons could be reptilians.
Well, and that's what I'm confused about still too, because that's what I thought draconians were. But I thought that was part of the reptilians. But I thought it was like dragon reptilians.
It's interesting
separate from lizard reptilians.
Because dragon elementals, we would not really say they're reptilian.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, what is a reptilian, right? It's an interesting concept, you know, what really is a reptilian, I guess. Which makes us question about our own labels, right? What is race, right? And we were talking about not even one location. Talking about lots of locations. So,
but all of it's like that. I feel like it's hard to get it specific because even if we talk about like Pleiadians, we're talking about the Pleiadian system, which is like multiple planets, and there's like multiple races on each planet.
Exactly. Yes. This is very true. And then we have Sirius A and Sirius B, right? But then we're like, oh, the Sirians, right? So, yes, because I was told too that I had a lifetime in Sirius, but I was a butterfly being, right? So, you know, you don't usually think of Sirians being butterfly beings. So,
which is why it's such a thing when you like look up, oh, am I this starseed? And they're like, well, do you have these specific traits? Do you look like this? The physical features? That's what really gets me. Because you could be a starseed of a butterfly race and it wouldn't apply to that at all.
Exactly. Exactly. So we lump things together, and I think that that is the whole idea here in the whole lesson, is that we do lump beings together or things together that don't all belong. Like everything's different, and just because one is one way doesn't mean that everybody is that way either. We generalize. Okay. That was interesting. So we will channel a draconian Draco in the future then. So interesting, we'll do that. See what happens with that. If you do have any questions for that, please put those below and we'll possibly add those to our list. All right.
Bye.
Bye.